This afternoon, we have the pleasure of welcoming Weslaco Officer Juan Mariscal and Ruben Rodriguez. They have some critical tips right now to show us today. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And of course, I have to have my sidekick, Victoria Marshall, join us because right now, ladies, listen up. It's time to stand up, get on your feet, because you have some important instructions to tell us. Let's start with you, Officer Mariscal. How important is self-defense for women?
It is very important for women, also for men, but right now we're concentrating on women. A lot of people see them as fragile, as noble. So we want to help them put a stand for themselves, put a stop to it, and it's very important, especially when you're out there by yourselves. You know, you got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to be aware of pretty much everything. A big tip that we do give is don't be walking with your cell phones or your headphones on. And it's very important.
Don't be distracted.
Exactly.
Now, I hate to touch up on this point, but you know we do have domestic violence cases and self-defense just across the board as women, how important it is, because I know I don't know how to protect myself. Please don't go hurt me. But Ruben, if you can tell us as an instructor how important it is for us women to know this type of activity.
The thing with this is that the majority of the women usually feel that there's nothing that's going to happen to them, but why even take that chance? It's like having car insurance. We're glad we have it when we need it.
Right.
So the same thing with the martial arts. So it's just a necessity now, especially now with all the problems that we got going on. The things that we teach are very simple, very basic things that you can use in case you have to defend yourself. It's nothing fancy, no high kicks or anything like that. It's very down to earth. So we call it real world self-defense.
No kidding. Yeah, before we get started, because ladies, I told you we're about to learn right now, and women and men, everybody, get up and join us because we're going to learn right now. But before we do that, how did this partnership come together?
Well, we had it for a while already. This is probably I want to say our 7th time that we do this in a row. We try to do it every month. We just had one yesterday. It was very successful. We had about 41 women, and thank them all for showing up.
Of that,
yes, and we're looking up at next month doing the same thing. Since we're targeting Teen Dating Violence Month, for next week it's going to be targeted more for teens between the ages of 14 and 24 years of age.
And how many people usually can you take per class, Ruben?
In a case like this, we had, I think it was like 40, 45, 46, but we've even had up to 70 when we did this a few years ago. So as long as we got the room, and I got most of my students are the ones that help me teach, so as long as I have enough people covering, we're good. We can take up as many as 70 people.
Awesome. And you know there's more classes coming up, so let's just get started with some tips. All right, Ruben. So for a person like myself, I'm usually in heels. What do I do? In
case of a grab, let's say it's someone trying to either kidnap you or trying to force you into another room or whatever the case may be, and usually it's going to be a two-handed grab. They're trying to drag you. The first thing you got to do is make sure that you get a good base, that you're not easy to be pulled into. So the next thing we ask is that you make a good fist with your the hand being grabbed. This hand goes right in the circle, right, and grabs your fist. Now what you're going to do is you're going to step into him and bring your elbow up to his elbow, and that's going to break the grip on him. So step forward.
Strong.
Okay. Good, just like that. His wrist won't be able to accommodate the motion that you just did. So if you do it again, grab her again. So if you grab and you try, eventually he's going to end up pulling you. So you got to have the base first. Once you get that, then you can make that. Yes, make that fist. Grab that hand. Reach in. Grab the hand. Step forward. And that's your defense. That's for that grab.
That's for that grab. All right. What about Victoria?
Who is short.
Well,
everybody always tells me that when they meet me. You're a lot shorter than I thought.
The techniques would work for everybody. It's not, the size really doesn't matter when it comes to this. If you got the right technique, you're going to be able to get away. So how about we do a grip where it's the opposite now. Right now she was grabbed this way, but what if they grab you this way? So this is two-handed. What we end up doing is we do the same thing. We end up making your fist, your hand comes and you grab. This time what you're going to do is your right leg's going to go that way, and you're going to bring your elbow all the way across.
And we'll have Ruben scooch there so we can show that
and step
motion.
forward again.
Like this?
Yes, grab her again. So grab her again, the same position. So grab your fist.
Grab my fist.
Now step with your right leg. I want you to step all the way across and come over his. That's perfect.
Okay.
See how his wrist won't be able to accommodate the motion that you're giving him. If you would have done the same one that you did, it wouldn't have worked on that. So those two are just two entirely different techniques.
I want to ask one question. You know, when you are in the heat of the moment and something like this is happening to you, what do you do? Because you may freeze up and may not remember
and that's
things.
and usually most people do freeze up. That's the problem. This is something that what women need to understand is that we do this once a month, but it's really not enough. So we really encourage you guys to join a class where you train at least once a week, where you have to practice these. We do these over and over until it's second nature to us. So the next thing is, of course, staying calm, not panicking when you get caught in a
Certainly.
situation like that. Yes. So then you're able to do, because I've seen people who had years of experience, and when they get nervous or panic, they don't remember any of the techniques that they need to.
Incredible information today, gentlemen. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And before we go super duper quickly, I know that there's more classes coming up.
Keep up with our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter. We should put every event's in there. So just like us and follow us, and you'll get more information as far as more events and more self-defense classes.
Awesome, and that's Weslaco Police. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We have more coming up.